Two things. First, tell us about New Music Tuesdays. What's that?
Oh, wow. People don't realize that on Tuesdays in the music industry across the board, in the recording industry across the board, that's when new music is released into the marketplace. And that's when the new music hits. That's when the labels pretty much put new music in circulation. And it happens I don't think there's been a Tuesday that I've been alive and aware, which I learned about when I was in college, working at HMV, about New Music Tuesday. And even to I remember, what's really funny when you ask me that? I remember now seeing people from a couple of the dance labels come into the stores to check the sales on the dance music stuff. And they would usually come around after New Music Tuesday to make sure we actually had the product in the store and to see if we had sold any right out the gate.
So we're talking, off camera about one of the challenges with the scene right now is that there is the barriers to entry are low, so anyone can start a label. But because of that, there is so much music being produced that it's hard to bubble up. So what's the solution?
Fall back. Really, I mean, it's the same thing as what really kind of doused a lot of the New York City nightclub scene, and more so with the underground dance music scene. I mean, because we already know, one of our former mayors made it virtually impossible for people to go out and have a good time in the city anymore. I miss those days. But when it comes to the competition, in any market, if it's oversaturated, people lose. Far more people lose than there are those that gain, and what they gain is very limited. So it really becomes a matter of, I understand firsthand what the desire is to establish your own label and a new label, but if you don't have the means and the ends financially to really, really make a go of it, you're just basically just throwing more product into circulation. And again, if New Music Tuesday, you have 200 tracks released versus mainstream market. Not for nothing, those labels they're in communication regardless of what people think. They know what's directly competing with what. There is some control over what's put into the market and what's allowed time to breathe. In fact, we've seen it with Kanye West and 50 Cent, was it? It can even be used as a marketing strategy, a marketing tool to sell more records. You've got these two hot records from these two different labels, two different artists, hip-hop, coming out on the same day. We don't get that opportunity with this music because there's so much that floods the market at one time. So we were saying, you can hear a record, this weekend, let's say, and you go, this is hot, this is new, and somebody says, this came out 3 years ago. You completely miss a lot of really dope work because there were the other, 199 tracks released at the same time. And at the same time, when you've got these very, very tiny, tiny labels that don't understand the mastery of marketing and A&R and public relations, are you sending out a release about this? Are you getting in touch with net radio and whomever else in commercial radio? Are you really going out there and pounding the streets with getting this product into the DJ's hands? A lot of people don't understand, again, the business of making it. I grew up around the record industry. I grew up learning the record industry at the feet of somebody who used to, basically be the head of black music department at MCA Records back in the 80s, Michael Halley. So I learned this business as a kid. I watched artists come and go from that office and watched him set up, the radio interviews or be in the car and know that they're not supposed to say this when they're being interviewed by Wendy, you know what I mean? So I grew up around, that's what I mean when I was saying earlier, I really do respect the business. It's one of my biggest beefs about other people who don't. And in saying that, if you've got all these tiny labels who, one, do not have the budget, do not have the resources, and don't have it in them to even try and learn how to do it themselves, which is the thing a lot of independent artists are doing for ourselves, is we are our own publicists, we are our own this, we are our own that. Then what are you putting this stuff out there for? Just so you can say you did it? Or the 50 people that you know you did it and they go buy it? Well, what about the people that you hired to have on that? That's not, because at the same time, a lot of these really tiny labels, they're not doing their accounting properly. And so it gets lost in the sauce. There's no real marketing strategy behind it because they're not really equipped to handle it like a record company. And the thing is, oh, well, the big labels have this and that. The big labels started out as small labels. Motown was basically an independent label in a house. So I don't want to hear that you don't have this, you don't have that. If you want to do it the right way, you can do it the right way, but there's so many people who aren't. So, that's one big, that's a big problem. I think that's why a lot of really great music is getting buried. It's just an oversaturation of the marketplace, and that's why a lot more stuff remains obscure than known, which is really kind of tragic.
Finally, tell us about Think Soul.
Think Soul. I love Think Soul. I'm really excited. I did Think Soul back in 2002. It was a release party for Stronger, which is the record I did with Camacho and Jameson Bray. And I had such a good time. The New Jersey crowd has been so good to me. They've been very consistently supportive with pretty much every release I've had come out. And they're usually the ones that when I do meet them out, because they're the first ones to want to go over and show love, which is really cool. And the thing I love about Jersey is, let's keep it real. Jersey wants, if you can't sing, don't go to Jersey.
They will
let you know.
I'm not shy.
And I've never been nervous or apprehensive right before singing anywhere. When I knew I was going to Think Soul, I was like, okay, girl, don't talk too much today. Don't, get enough rest. You want to be on, because they will let you know. It's worse than the Apollo. They do not play in Jersey when it comes to the vocals. They are very serious about some vocals, which as a vocalist, I think we need to have those brutal crowds. They keep you honest.
Right.
They keep you on your game.
Right.
So I am really, really looking forward to this April 28th at Ash Lounge in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And it's flyers are up and about all over the place. You can also see the flyer on my MySpace page, JXB Music. And I'm just really, really excited about it, because I'm going to be breaking new music for, demonstrations and new sounds, which is what I think is really cool about the Monday night event with Think Soul, demonstrations and new sounds. That's a beautiful thing to hear, okay, I get to do some new stuff and introduce people to a slightly different side of Jannae Jordan and vocally get down a little bit different, and that's the crowd to do it with. So I'm really excited. I think Chris Flowers is just the bomb. He's again been somebody who, one of those people that you see when you see them, and they always have like a smile or something that he says that's encouraging. And that's so cool, because I encounter so many people that I'm one of those people that I have no problem walking up to other artists, producers, DJs, and I'm like, I love your work. If I mean it, I say it. If I don't, I'm like, how you doing? Yes you do. but I don't have that. I don't have that competitive ego thing where I can't walk up to another. Like, I'm the same. I'll be in the street and I'll go up to them like, girl, those shoes are wicked. I'm that way when it comes to dealing with other artists. I will walk up to them and say, I love your work, or I caught your set, whatever, I got your CD, it's hot. And, and what I love is, like that same thing that I remember early on, Chris was one of those first people that I would get that from, that warmth, that real, I saw it on some of his MySpace pages or something about people call me shady. I'm like, no, he's real. I think all of us that keeps it real get called shady from time to time, because, there's no room for pretense. I think it's a waste of time. But yeah, he's just like really warm, and he's always got something up, something up. Whether it's, he can be saying the most simplest thing, but it's something in his tone, and it's in the eyes when you talk to somebody, and that's really cool. And I love that also when I encounter that with other artists, because to me what he does, you do, that's mastery, to be in this business all these years and still have your hand in things that are going on. And again, I think it's an absolutely beautiful mission as far as keeping artists visible and helping to give us a platform to be seen and heard and not just be voices in the dark in the club. So I'm really excited about Think Soul, because it's been a long time coming. To me, it's like going home.
So April 28th, Ash Lounge, flyers on your MySpace, which is MySpace.
JX3 Music.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.